If you've been listening to Traxxas and watching and seeing all their new releases of RC cars and models, you may have heard of a new desert-themed RC car coming out. And it's got the two wheels in the back, and it's like a Slash, but a little bit smaller. They're selling them for a lot, and I mean a lot of money. This guy, has figured out how to bypass that. Here, I have Traxxas Slash VXL Platinum, simple, 3S capable, with a blue and silver body, all the stickers on it, but you notice, right there, got the two wheels in the back. That's this neat look that it makes it so it's a little bit less nose heavy, and it can do wheelies a little easier. And it adds a bit of a higher center of mass, so it'll turn a little faster, or look more realistic when pulling around corners. But these actually are fully functional wheels that I've just defoamed. I plan on turning these into pneumatic tires by, if I can take one off. The way I did this was I just poked two holes in the body, and I threaded some M3 nuts and bolts in there. It fits relatively well, and you can get them off relatively easily. Just gotta unscrew, and you can take these on and off as much as you want, as long as you don't break A, the body, or B, the actual, like, threads, or C, the actual tire. Once that's off, you can see it's just a little bolt in there, and I can push out and pull out of there. Let me see if I'm in frame here. Yeah. So I just put it right where the actual drive shaft would be. You don't need the hex nut or anything. And you can see the way it's set up. It's got a little hole poked in it. Very simple. I had one up here, so it was just a singular tire like this. Now, if you were to go about making this into a pneumatic tire, what you do is you debeat it by putting it in boiling water, heating up with a candle, or the way I do it is I put it in a, it's an old stoplight with a halogen bulb in it, and it gets hot, and it takes the actual super glue clean off. What you do is you plug up these holes right here, and you put a Schrader valve, or a pinch valve, in one of these ejector pin marks, so that you have a fully inflatable tire. And that's just another little bitty idea. You could totally have it, the actual valve, in the actual sidewall of the tire, but I wouldn't do that because it might actually cause a little bit of a balancing issue, and you might have very wobbly tires, which is not fun if you also have ballooning issues, which I've seen some people have. And you can just thread that right back in there, throw your bolt on, and you're done. Now, when it comes down to, like, the actual body and painting the body, don't do what I did. I painted the body, but I didn't use any sort of protective cover, so the paint's coming off, and I'm currently covering it with blue Sharpie. But the body on the outside actually looks relatively okay. I mean, sure, there's some scrapage in there, but, I mean, it's more of a play body than a show body. Now, talking about lights. Now, if you're running big servos and you don't want to choke out your the power for your receiver, what you do is you'd get a BEC. But since I don't plan on running lights or servos, I'm going to put lights in here. Here, here. And then I'm going to feed them off of these. These are direct taps from the positive and neutral lines from the actual receiver power. And I got this from an old dead Spectrum SPMS 401. That was dead. Because you look at a receiver,
if I can just zoom in here.
It's focused, I think. You've got your signal, which goes out to the microprocessor, and the positive and negative are one big bus bar, so you can tap directly off of that. So you've got positive, negative, and signal.
And this is pretty much the same for all receivers.
Now, since the lights I plan on putting in this are going to be LED, they're not going to draw more than 500 milliamps. I won't really need to worry about actual like lack of power in the actual receiver. But if you're running like big incandescent lights or a winch, you need a BEC. Most small ESCs like this Validian VXL3 waterproof ESC have BECs built into them. That's how they power the actual receiver directly. And it's pretty commonplace for ESCs to have BECs, but some big ones, some really, really big 110 amp ESCs don't have BECs, because if your BEC gets hot and melts, then not only are you going to have a broken ESC, you're going to have a broken receiver and possibly a broken servo. Now, if you plan on installing a winch, you need to make sure your remote has all the actual doodads for this. This is just a simple 2-channel FSGT2 I got off Amazon for like 10 bucks. It's a simple one. You've got steering trim.
Is it even... Oh, too zoomed in. Oops. This is just a simple FSGT2 receiver. It's got steering trim, it's got throttle trim, and a third throttle trim.
And we've got reverser buttons, it's all that. You've got steering and throttle. If you are going to have a winch, some winches come with little key fob remotes that allow you to control the winch without a separate TX. Now, I recommend using Futaba and Traxxas TI equipment, because you can have status going straight to your phone and stuff like that. But I don't really need all that. I'm just doing gritty, driving around, beating the thing to hell. But it's pretty simple. Now, if you're not really going to be doing much like high speed racing and all that stuff, if you're going to be like up close and personal, then you can get rid of this little spar right here that slides in and locks in place. You can get rid of that and throw LEDs in there to add a little bit more light. That really is technically more shock absorption. And oh, one more thing about the body. If you plan on doing an FPV setup, I recommend keeping the windows from getting scratched up and having an FPV camera on a servo that can swivel around inside so you can see. Fat Shark makes really good FPV stuff, but you can get, again, cheap stuff off Amazon, like, anything really. But most of the time, I recommend going for Fat Shark, because they usually do have much better stuff than what you can get on China, or from China. You notice I have removed the actual side guards. I don't like them. They tend to get stuck on my body, and not my body, the actual car body. Tend to get stuck in the body and just wreak havoc. Most of the time, you will probably see people say that, oh, you took your car apart, you just voided the warranty. You don't really voided the warranty. You haven't really voided the warranty until you cut something or make a permanent change. I avoided the warranty, of course, on the actual receiver leads, because I plan on putting Deans on these, because I don't really trust the actual Traxxas. I know, I'm not a Traxxas fanboy, I just don't really trust the actual high current connectors, and the actual Traxxas batteries, they have like a 40C or like 30 max amp discharge. So they're not really rated for that much discharge. Because, I mean, Traxxas is, I don't know, it's just strange why their cars have such low discharge ratings. I plan on getting some 8,000 milliamp 7.4 volt Fluorions, like Kev's RC Spare has, and I'm just gonna keep them in my body. If you plan on running like a Mamba X setup and all that, and you're running big heaty motors, I recommend, instead of keeping the current battery bank, I recommend you cut holes in the side that have Velcro going through, and then have the battery. So let's say this is your battery. This is the top, this is the cable, this is the bottom, and this is the side. Instead of having it set in like that, you can have it big and wide like that with high capacity, and just strap it around. These battery holders, they make bigger ones, but I don't really care. I just don't care. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, I hope this was a neat little tutorial on how to get neat RC body mods. You can get light kits and little 5 amp BECs from Amazon for like $10. They're not that expensive, but if you're a home gamer like me and you just like driving around for no apparent reason, I recommend just altering it just enough. Well, I guess that's it. Desert out.